everyone, and welcome to Crafter's Grove. So for today's project, I'm tackling a very specific issue that I've been having. I've been taking my bobby pins and hair elastics out in the shower and leaving them in the shower. And what I've been finding is that I'm accumulating rust stains on a fairly new shower. So this is quite a problem. So I'm going to teach you today how to build a little container to help hold any loose items in the shower, or really anywhere you want, but in my instance for the shower. So I'm basing this off one of my favorite dishes, the ramekin. However, I do find the ramekin is a little too large. So instead of that, I wanted to make something a little smaller and a little nicer for my shower. So this is it, the mini ramekin. I've made this out of polymer clay, beads, and glazing. And yes, I've used the ramekin to help shape this. So if you're interested in making this piece with me, please watch the video. If you have any feedback, put it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more crafting ideas like this, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, so for this craft project, we are going to need a few things. We'll need some polymer clay. I'm choosing to do my project in white. We'll need some beads. You'll need a dish to shape the polymer clay into for baking so that it doesn't lose its shape or its integrity in the baking process. And because this is going to be used in the shower, it's best to finish it off with some sort of glaze. Today I'm going to use Veracruz diamond wood finish gloss. And to apply the Veracruz, I'm going to use a paintbrush. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is sort out my beads into the colors that I want to use. So I was thinking these beads will just add a little bit of sparkle to an otherwise white dish. And now for the sculpty. Okay, so really I recommend taking off any jewelry before you starting sculpty. That's important. That stuff can get everywhere, and I really do not want to spend hours cleaning out the nooks and crannies of my jewelry. And so this stuff starts off quite hard, and if it hasn't been kept in an airtight container, it can be even harder. But that doesn't mean all is lost. Really, you just need to stick at it and continue to work the clay, and it will soften up. No matter how hard I've started my clay, it's always softened up in the end. Okay, so we want to keep working this clay until it gets fairly soft and easy to work with. So next, you just want to make sure you have enough putty to suit the project that you want to make. So I'm shaping it into the ramekin to ensure that it's enough, and you can also do a free hand shaping just to check the amount. Although that could probably work, it's more of a flat surface right now, so it's really not big enough. So I do need to add more polymer clay to this. So I'm going to add some more white to it. Now these are two separate packages of white. They do appear fairly close in color, but just in case, we're going to blend them together. So now I've created about the thickness of disc that I want my piece to work out, and I'm going to just put it into the ramekin. Okay, so this is definitely the size that I wanted, shape. So now is an excellent time to put on those beads. Oh, actually, look at what's happening. We're getting little marks in the clay as we're trying to apply these beads. So I don't think this method is going to work. So let's see what happens when we fold a bunch of beads into the clay. So what ended up happening is the beads actually ended up being quite hidden in the clay, and it takes a lot of work just to bring them out. So clearly folding them into the clay isn't the solution here. We're gonna go back to square one and add the beads to the top of the clay. So now I'm just going to smooth over any markings left from the beads, and then after that's done, we can begin to shape the clay again. So as I'm working this, I really started to realize how much the clay is actually sticking to the side of the ramekin. So I'm just trying to pull it away now to see how sticky it is, because I'm worried if we bake this as is in the oven, are we even going to be able to separate our piece from the ramekin? So yeah, the clay was really stuck to the ramekin. So we really need to put some parchment paper between the clay and the ramekin to prevent the two from fusing together during the baking process. So what I'm doing is actually cutting strips of parchment paper, and what that's going to allow is for a barrier to exist, but without having folds in the parchment paper that would likely leave some marks on our finished product. Now let's reshape the clay and create our final product. And I'm going to gently lay this piece aside. Okay, looks good. Ready for the next step. Here we are in the kitchen. Now we're going to bake our piece at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes for every 6 millimeters of thickness, and ours is about that 6 millimeters. So here we go, into the oven for 15 minutes, and we'll see you guys when it's all done. Okay, so I've pulled our piece out of the oven. I've let it cool, and now it's time to take out of the ramekin. Now, polymer clay is actually waterproof, and so in itself does not need a sealer. The challenge is when you're using it in a wet area, you know, there are little pores in the polymer clay, and this is actually really textured because of all the beads that we've used. So every little crease that you see in here is just going to accumulate things such as lime buildup as we get in the shower, maybe soap scum, all of that, and it's going to be really hard to maintain and keep clean. So one way of working around that is by applying a glaze. So I had mentioned earlier that I was going to be using Varathane. This is just what we've had lying around in the house, Varathane wood finish, and I've selected gloss. So what I've done is I've put some of that Varathane into a small container for easy use. Okay, and now I'm going to start applying the coats of gloss. Ideally, we're going to do 3 coats, and it's really important to let the coats cure after you're done all 3 to make sure that they don't peel in the shower. Okay, so I've done the 3 coats of Varathane. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, you can definitely feel there's a good coating of gloss on here. It seems to have gotten into all the little nooks and crannies, so hopefully that's enough to keep the maintenance low and keep this looking good for years to come. Now, the final test. Does it hold what I want it to hold? Oh yeah, it's perfect. Perfect for holding my elastics and bobby pins. Oh, I'm really excited to use this. Okay, well, let me know down in the comments if you'd like to have an update on how this piece works out in a few months, see how the maintenance is going. And if you like this video, hit the like button and I'll continue to produce more for you. Okay, till next time, bye.